Well, hi, everyone. My name is Lorne Plant. I want to welcome you into this week's Hangtime High School Chalk Talk powered by Lawrence Technological University. This is my opportunity to have a conversation with a head basketball coach in the state of Michigan. This podcast, again, proudly sponsored by our friends with BCAM, the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. So today, we're talking with the new head coach at Blanc High School, Tory Jackson. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk about you and Bobcat basketball.
Oh, man, I appreciate you guys for having me on, for sure.
All right, good. I'm glad that we worked this out. Now, for those of you who are watching this and might be thinking, is this the Tory Jackson, the Saginaw Buena Vista legend himself, the man who is fifth all-time in scoring in MHSAA history with over 2,500 points, the man who averaged just over 30 points his senior season, two-time Class C Player of the Year, two-time state champion in 2004 and 2006, three-time Dream Teamer. Yes, it is that Tory Jackson with us here on Hangtime. You hear all that. Obviously a special time for you, your high school playing days. Some really great teams. Hard to believe it's been 10 years now since the school has closed.
Man.
I know. What do you remember about your time with the Knights?
It was just so much fun, man. It was such a family feel. It's still a family feel. Even though the building is closed, all of us still know each other and the community is still tight-knit. So it's like we're in our own little section of Saginaw, so to say. And everybody in BV kind of know each other. We talk to each other. We show love. Anytime we comment on each other's social media, everybody leaves blue hearts and everything like that. So it's a big old family. My mentor, my high school coach, outside of my college coach, Coach Bray, my high school coach, his name was Dwayne Ferris, my assistant coach. He was like, he still is a mentor of mine. He comes to my games now, watching me coach, helping me make adjustments. So it's a huge family, man. So everything about BV is we still alive, even though the building is closed. BV is still alive for sure.
How has the high school game changed since you played? What's different now than in 2006?
Social media. Social media has helped and hurt in a sense. It's helped guys in a sense to where guys that's at smaller schools, they get that feel where they can be seen and people want to, they get a highlight tape made or whatnot, and now people coming to check them out. Back in the day, your only highlight or the way you made people come to your school to come watch you at a small school was you had to go play bigger guys, bigger teams around the state, and you had to make some noise. You know what I'm saying? It was no social media. We spent a lot of time in the gym together, so that was also a benefit for us back in the day compared to now. A lot of times kids go home, they get to play the game, they on their social media doing things. It's not a lot of gym time, so to say. And it's hurt the brand of basketball in Michigan, I would say. But then you look at what's coming up now. You got some young guys. They remind me of what we used to be as far as gym rats, man. We got a group over here at Blanc where it's kind of, I came to it was a blessing in disguise, honestly, man. But these guys here, man, they are gym rats. I love being in the gym. They love being in the gym. We talk junk. We play against each other and pick up basketball in the summertime. I get to compete against them. They play high-level basketball. These guys here, they love. It was like BV all over again. So I love it. I miss it. I wish kids spend more time in the gym like we did, man. But the ones that's in there, man, they've really set themselves apart.
Yeah, I mean, we had state champs back then, 20 years ago. We still had state champs, so we were covering it. But you're so right that you did have to play bigger programs in order to get the exposure for players.
Yeah.
You yourself, I mean, obviously, stood out among a lot of the others so that you were going to get the attention. But it's the guys who you play with, your teammates, trying to get some attention to some of the college coaches, to obviously be able to get an opportunity that they could play at the next level.
Yeah.
So, and you're right, and we're going to talk about this year's team in just a bit for sure. Now, you went on to become a captain at the University of Notre Dame. Really had an
Yeah.
outstanding 4-year career with the Irish. What would you say is maybe the one moment from your college career that sticks out the most?
Man, there was so many, man.
I
But
know.
one of my favorite moments was senior night. It was such an emotional night. Um, we were playing UConn, which was a top, team in the Big East at one point. The following year, they actually won the national championship. So
Right.
it was just one of those things, playing those guys, playing a rival type team. It was like, man, it was the crazy part. It was the score was like 19-20 in the first half, ugly game because everybody
Right.
was so emotional. And I could just remember in the second half, I went on a rampage and had like 17 or 19 in the second half alone. Man, I ended up winning CBS player of the game
Yeah.
on senior night. It was just so dope to have my family, friends there. And then the support, man. I could just remember Coach Bray giving me that message, man. Take us home, T. Take us home. Just having fun. We joked about it. He's still a guy I lean on today. He's retiring now, so
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
that moment. I cannot take that moment back, and I always visualize myself playing in that game. I remember just making crazy shots off the bounce, pull up, everything, and it was just one of those nights. The second half, I killed it. So that was one of my most memorable moments.
I remember, and this is back when the NIT was still a big deal. Because I used to be just as involved in watching the NIT tourney as I did NCAA. Junior season, game-winning final layup against New Mexico in the second round. You guys. This is how big you went on to play Kentucky in the quarters that year. That's how good. That's how good the NIT was because college basketball was so solid. That must have been just an amazing experience.
Oh my God, that was such a dope experience. I remember that actually. What's his name? Tubby Smith, I think, was the coach. Either Tubby Smith or nope, it wasn't. It was Gillespie, I think, at the time was the coach over there. But they had Jody Meeks. They were stacked over at Kentucky, athletes and everything. So to go and hit that game winner in New Mexico, it was like, man, I'm celebrating, I'm hyped, and I'm geeked. But then it's like, man, Kentucky coming to town too the next day. So it was like we had to get it all together. So preparing for that moment, it was so fun, man. And then to knock Kentucky off was huge for us. So I think every year we were there, man, we won 20 plus games. So it was I can never forget those moments at A&D for sure.
Right on. So after your playing days, talk a little bit about your coaching journey. Getting into high school basketball to bring you where you are now.
Yeah. I started off going back to BV before they ended up closing. Trying to, do what I can for the kids in that area, man. We had so many kids during that time too. BV they were under 100 kids in high school.
Yeah.
But we had some decent talent. We just needed somebody to believe in them and actually be there to kind of nurture and guide those guys. I remember having a moment there where the kids they were doing a lot. They were growing up fast. So, certain people they just weren't respecting. So I remember having a moment where we just didn't play a game and we forfeited a couple games and tried to send a message. They did a good job. They responded well. And we ended up making some noise and actually going on to win a district in the Class D district in the Saginaw area, and then losing in the regional finals, I believe. So we ended up having some success that last year. So that kind of kick-started my journey. And then I ended up going over to Northwood for a little bit.
Right.
And then after Northwood, we ended up actually what the TBT is right now, and the $2 million tournament. We were the first winners of the TBT tournament. So I stopped coaching. Yeah, so I stopped coaching for a little bit, played in that. We won that. Then I got back into coaching by just going up to John Glenn High School in Bay City. The first 2 years were kind of rough because those kids they lost a lot of talent, and they were kind of thrown in the fire to go into the Saginaw Valley League. So the first couple of years in the Saginaw Valley League was rough for them. But I love a challenge. That's why I went to Notre Dame. It was known as a football school before we got there. We kind of changed that. Now it's a basketball school, I say, man, with good football athletes over there, man. But it's, we started over there. And then the third year at John Glenn, man, we spent a lot of time leading up to that moment. We spent a lot of time in the off season. We spent so much time together. just creating a bond, spending extra time conditioning, individual work, and it all paid off. That third year, man, we ended up knocking off Arthur Hill. We beat Midland High. We beat a lot of the big-time teams, and a lot of the teams that were in our conference that were blowing us out at one point the first 2 years, everything was competitive. Nail biters, lose by 2 at one point to Heritage. Like, everything was nail biters over there, but it was done without many basketball talented type kids. We had a bunch of football, baseball kids.
Bunch
and
of athletes.
Sprinkled in them. Yeah. So
yeah.
we ended up doing some great things over there. So that led me to this blessing over here. It went from, trying to get the Heritage deal. That didn't go as planned. But I truly believe God has something bigger and better for me, and look what it is now. So I can't do anything but, thank God and the support of my family and friends, man. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and you inherit a team that has back-to-back state finals appearances, including a championship in 21. Was it intimidating at all taking over this program at this time?
It can be at points, but I think with my support system that I have, at times I don't even think about it. Honestly, I don't think about the success that they've had because this is a new team. Every year is a new team. Yeah, we have the same amount of the same guys, so to say, but we lose a Monte Allen. We got to figure out certain guys. Dybus was a senior that can make shots. We had to figure out, how to plug in guys, and then how to also get the best out of some guys that didn't play as much. So now you get that out of those guys, and now it's rolling a little bit. We still got our great leader in RJ, our phenomenal dog inside with inside-outside type guy with Tay Boyd. But then you see a guy like Bryce O'Mara who grows, Anthony Perdue who looks great now. Nathan Richardson is amazing on defense and offense. He's starting to shine. Then our bench, man, we're so deep. We got guys like Trayvon Johnson, Robert Williams, Donnie Huddleston, who's a sophomore. Man, we're loaded coming off the bench, man. So, and we have to figure out ways to not only get the best out of the starting five, but let's have a second starting five. And you know what I'm saying? Adding, certain guys. Jake, we got so many guys that can play and do well for us. Daniel Steele, who's he was our starting running back for the football team. He's a bulldog for us off the bench, man. I love watching him and RJ compete in practice because he never lets up. You know what I'm saying? He never lets anything easy go for RJ. So it's been so fun to, and it's been a challenge, man. But again, the reason why I've been like that my whole life, dealing with Notre Dame. Notre Dame was not an easy choice to pick over Michigan State, and all USC and all schools. Like, I chose Notre Dame because I knew I would get the best of both worlds, the academic portion of it, and then the athletic portion of it. I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I was up for that challenge. And the same goes for Grand Blanc, man. Mike Thomas did a great job developing, setting a standard here. But the one thing that I did that I'm grateful for was I surrounded myself with a great team. The guys that we have were returning coaches like Doris Martin and Eric Cooley and DeAndre Massey. They all know the guys from Flint. They were on the staff. They were around the guys. So we kind of kept familiar guys around them, and we still keep that standard. We set another standard, and now we trying to hang our hats on defense. We got guys that can score, but can we get stops? Defense wins championships at the end of the day. So those guys have done a great job, a phenomenal job of just continuing to set that standard, and let other guys know, the young guys know, what to expect when they come in. And then you have, I added another guy on our staff who was my high school teammate, man. He was like my 1-2 punch. David Richmond was the other guy. So to have that, to complete that as our staff, I can put our staff against any staff in the state. We can beat them 5-on-5 on the court, or we can do it on the sideline as coaches as well, man. So I'm so happy with those guys, man, and grateful to have those guys, man. Rob Stinson is another guy that we kept around, but he does a good job with our middle school group. So we got a boatload of talent coming in from middle school. So it's kind of like we have a real legit program, not just a team. We have a program.
No doubt. And we are talking with Tory Jackson, head coach of the Grand Blanc Bobcats. And again, the school has been blowing up as a sports kind of legacy now with football being as good
Yeah.
as it is, basketball obviously, baseball has won a state championship,
Yeah.
and what happens is it becomes where the athletes or other players who maybe normally wouldn't think about it, they want to be a part. They want to be a part of that winning program, and they want to feel that energy that you guys are bringing night in, night out. I just want to ask you specifically about R.J. Taylor. He's obviously a serious candidate for Mr. Basketball. You're, as a former star player yourself, and even the burden sometimes that can come along with that throughout the course.
Yeah.
But what makes RJ special in your eyes?
He's a competitor. He goes hard. He doesn't want to lose at anything, whether it's running down here, being the first in the gym, making shots, defending, getting a stop. What sets him apart, though, is his unselfishness, his willingness to make others better. He can go score the ball. I can give him the ball and say, look, just go get 30 shots a game. Let's go average 30 points and let's rock. Or let's play winning basketball. We can give you the keys. You lead us. And he's done that. He has the keys. He's led us to huge wins. He and Tay Boyd do a phenomenal job of playing off of each other and playing for each other. They kind of set the standard. Those are kind of like our alphas. And then the other guys have done a good job of understanding their role and playing the game the right way. But it starts with him. He's a phenomenal leader. He's played on the EYBL level. I'm a huge guy when it comes to, especially, like, I challenge my guards to take care of the ball. Coach Bray did it for me. My high school coach did it for me. So I hate turnovers. So he's one of the ones where I tell him, like, yo, we have to take care of the ball. You take care of the ball, you get more possessions to score. So he's been that, man. The kid went on a run for, like, I want to say 2 or 3 games where he had over 28 assists total in 1 turnover. You know what I'm saying? It was something crazy, like 20 to 1. So he can do a little bit of everything, man. Actually, he gets the stop in Grand Rapids the other night, steals the ball at half court. We're down 1 under a minute left. He gets the stop, steals it, goes full court to take a layup. He misses it, but Nathan Richardson trails to tie the game or to take the lead. You know what I'm saying? He gets the tip in to take the lead. So RJ makes that stop, and those different things, man. He can do it offensively, defensively, but I love his heart too, man. He has a pure heart, a willingness to serve others, and that's who I am. So it's like having a little brother, man, that is really good on the court as well, that we can compete against and just have fun with, man. So it's been dope to have him.
All right. Absolutely. And Tay Boyd has been throwing it down with the best of them. We have had some clips of him just monster dunks, and everybody just feeds off that. This has been great.
Yeah.
Last question. You beat Bay City Central Tuesday, 79-44. I believe you guys are 12-2, 7-0 in the Saginaw Valley League. Obviously, you have a lot more weapons than R.J. Taylor, as you've already addressed. But just talk about, as a group, what you're seeing now as you prepare to get to run through the gauntlet that is the Division I playoffs.
Yeah, I think guys are buying in. They're understanding what we have to do. They're understanding winning basketball is making winning plays instead of making plays to, highlight the crowd and show off in front of the crowd. They're just keeping it simple. Taking the easy layup, pull-up jump shot, making the right read, a driving kick. They're understanding, keeping it simple. Simple is boring, but simple wins the game. You know what I'm saying? So those guys are understanding that, and it's become contagious, man. So it starts with our leaders, and the guys have bought in. We still got a lot more room to grow, taking care of some things, understanding how to carry over our scout report consistently, and starting getting great starts. So still more to work on, but they're understanding great basketball, and they're doing it at the right time, man. It's February, March is around the corner, so right now is the right time to start clicking, and we're doing that.
As you kind of reignite your coaching journey here, do you lean on BCAM? Does BCAM help in that area? I actually went to the BCAM coaches event and everything, man. Coach Bray was actually there this year. Actually. Oh, okay.
So,
wow.
And that was actually where we kind of connected with some of the other coaches in the area to come to our classic and everything. So BCAM is phenomenal. I met some of the guys already from BCAM that kind of help out behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Keith Guy is another guy I know that helps out with BCAM from time to time. I mean, he was around when I was actually playing. So
Yep.
those are guys that I can kind of lean on. We actually play him in a soon. So just to have those guys from BCAM, the support to lean on, to ask questions about. I love everything about BCAM and what they've done for the state of Michigan and the brand of the basketball that's being played here.
Yeah, well, right now, that's going to be a good one because we've got Muskegon ranked number 1 in the state right now in our top 20.
Exactly, man.
And but you guys are 5. I think in our latest rankings, I have it right here. We've got you 5, which is kind of nice because that way the kids don't get too full of themselves and know they got something to aspire to. Yeah. But it's going to be a fun run, no doubt about it. I do want to say the BCAM is all about one team, urging schools to have events and celebrate both teams in the spirit of unity. Go to bcam.org for details. And if you want to nominate a Coach of the Week, simply visit bcam.org as well. Coach Jackson, thank you so much for the conversation. Good luck the rest of the season. I appreciate you kind of making this happen on short notice.
No problem, man. Thank you guys for having me on, man. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you soon.